Well, hi, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining me here. Hey, it's a rainy day today, finally. So I have lots of time now to do indoor stuff, including maybe working in my shop here. So, what's up with this radio? So thank you very much for the comments that many of you have made already, and very helpful comments. Let's just go over a couple of things. Somebody thinks this wire here is damaged, and it could be because it has this little bump on it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with this wire, so no problem there. This mysterious connector here that I saw, so this apparently is the plug that would go with the stereo demodulator unit if there was one. So when you don't have the demodulator, I guess, a plug is inserted with a couple components on it, kind of bypassing the demodulator. So I think I could pull this right out. I think. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so that solves the mystery part here. It's not that much of a mystery in the end, is it? Nothing ever is, right? Things are only a mystery until they're not. A little mystery how to put that back in. Put that back in. Great. Down here, it's a little hard to see, but camera way up there. And I was commenting about this piece back here, which when I looked at it from a funny angle looked like something a lot different than what it was. So it's just nothing more than a terminal into which you're plugging the connectors for the record player. And for crying out loud, I'm the guy who pulled them out of there to begin with, so I just looking at them from the other side. And I'm so anxious to see where the rectifier is in this radio. I'm started thinking this must be the rectifier of some sort, but no, it's just terminals. But there is a rectifier in here, of course. A selenium, I'm pretty sure it's selenium. And those are always a concern. And I believe this thing here is the selenium rectifier. It's mounted on the big back panel here for heatsink purposes, I believe. If I understand it right, that's all from comments made by those of you who have maybe worked on this particular radio or others like it, and so you're recognizing things I'm not particularly astute at recognizing. So, but nobody said, Jim, don't go forward with that radio, and nobody said, hey, that's going to be easy. So I think I'm going forward without an easy journey, I imagine. But you know what? I have plugged these kinds of guys in, turned them on, and they work. Maybe that's going to happen here too. There's nothing leaping out at me. I haven't tested any of the tubes. I don't think I'm going to bother. I think I'm going to try powering this guy up as is. And we will see. We certainly will see. So to power it up, what do I got to do? I got to get power hooked up here. That's easy. I got to hook up speakers here. So this is confusing to me. So the confusing thing is there's some electrostatic speaker connections. They were made up here. One of them's here. One of them is, and then these two I believe are just the regular speakers, 8 ohm speakers or 16, whatever it is. And what's freaking me out is I can't spot the other wire. I'm sure it came to this terminal. There's something tricky going on with this terminal. You wouldn't mix the electrostatic wires with the regular wires. There's no way they'd be mixed up. Incidentally, one of these wires, when I just cut back the original wires to leave a little bit of the color so I wouldn't have trouble later when I put the whole thing back together. And while I was doing that, one of the wires just dropped right out. It wasn't even soldered. It was not soldered. That's just barely soldered there. Okay, so I'm just frozen here because I don't see where the other channel electrostatic speaker comes from. But I took very nice photos of this, and I'll be able to check it out. And I took a photo of the actual console I wanted to show here. I'm going to show you. Just going to hold my phone in front of the camera here. So that's what it looks like. The picture's not doing it justice. It's really quite nice. Quite a nice looking unit. I guess you would call that mid-century modern. Maybe that's the word for that. Of course, a big hole there where the receiver goes, and then pop the door open, and that's where the record player goes, and then you got the two speakers on the side. And the cabinet, like a lot of these European radios, has a very, very thick, high gloss coating on it. It looks really nice. I really like it. So I really want to get this thing working. So first deal is sort out these speakers, hook up my speakers. I still got the big ones in here from the big jukebox amp I'm working on, so I'll hook those guys up. The electrostatic side of it, should I just leave that open and not worry about it, or should I put a capacitor on it that would imitate the speaker? Or should I bring the speaker in here, the electrostatic speakers in here, which is a big hassle? Got to think about that. That's really about it, isn't it? That's about it. Just speakers and power cord. Okay, I'm going to work away at that. Okay, so I'm concerned there's been some funny business with the speaker wiring on this radio, so I want to take a close look at it. You can see the close-up camera sitting there. Here's one of the photographs that I took of this. And so if we go through it, and this might be hard for you to do on your screen, you're watching this, but yellow wire, yellow wire. So here's the yellow wire coming out of the hole, maybe from the output transformer that's down under here. The second, that's the other thing I was told. Thank you very much. The transformer that I thought was another output transformer is another output transformer. It's stuck under here. So it's just a little, you know, we wouldn't really expect it to be that way. You'd think you'd have one and one, or somehow they'd both be up here or something anyway. But one on top, one underneath, hidden. So the one underneath has to have its wires come out somehow. So here they are, I think, coming out. So we look at speaker wires here. This is going to the speakers. Yellow, green, blue, red. Yellow, the green one fell off. Blue, red. So when I look at that, what I think I'm seeing is then grounded. Oh my gosh, look, this terminal goes right to the chassis. Okay, so this is the ground return. One channel here, one channel here, feed for one channel here, feed for the other channel here. Why is there not wires coming from up here on top? Well, I would take a wild guess then. I would say the lower, the transformer that's hidden under here is the 8 ohm regular transformer for regular speakers. That's here. And then this one is the transformer producing the high voltage. This is, can you see that on camera? Yeah. This is the what's left of the lead that goes to one of the electrostatic speakers. I cut it here. It should be like that. But there's no other lead. Now if we look in the, here's where things get weird. If we look at this camera shot, let me switch cameras here. If you look at my telephone, I'm sorry if my telephone's making interference on the video too. It may be making funny sounds. So this black wire here is the electrostatic lead to the other channel electrostatic. And where's it connected? It's connected, okay, ground, right, ground, and then over to this terminal, okay, which is this one. Okay, that makes sense. The low speaker, the low impedance speakers here, high impedance speaker here, and then the last one is up on top. So what they did was they brought out the high voltage here to this terminal from underneath. Because you got to have the speaker terminals have to be up on top, right? They can't be underneath. They got to be up on top where you can connect and disconnect. Okay, so that explains all that. Now, what's still not explained is, yeah, you know, this is not going to be a. I doubt this is going to be like a electrostatic, and then underneath here is the regular output transformer. It's not going to be like that. Each of these transformers is going to produce one channel, both 8 or 16 ohms, whatever this is, and the high impedance, high voltage for the electrostatic. So somehow the wires got to come off here. They got to make it here. For some reason, the The wires coming off the top here go down through this hole. They do not appear to come whipping out of here. So I don't know exactly what's going on. That's okay. I'll just leave that registered in my head that way. I don't know what's going on. Perfect. I do know what's going on. So, hooking up the regular speakers, easy thing. Electrostatic speakers left open. You know, I bet you that doesn't make any difference. I'll have to look into that because I don't know what the correct answer is, and we can't do anything that risks these transformers, or I'm a bad boy. And then what about this weird looking schmozzle up here, which looks bad but may not be. And then this one, which looks bad and may well be bad. Got to read up a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay, so I'm back from a little self-education on electrostatic speakers. Unfortunately, what I was reading, of course, is not about the little speakers you find with a radio like this, but the great big ones you would use with a big hi-fi set. But some of the principles are the same. So I think the bottom line here is the risk in running a radio like this without a how's this thing stereo? How's this stereo? It must have a two-part output tube, or are these two output tubes here? What's happening? Hold on, never mind. Just a second. Momentary distraction. EL84. That's an output tube for sure. What's this one? ECL 86, so it's not an output tube. Oh, it's got an awful lot of blackening in here. Can you see that on the camera? Oh yeah. So, wow, lots of mileage on this tube. It's probably the original. Yeah, probably all these are originals, which I haven't tested yet. Oh, another little piece of information. The owner of this radio acquired this from his neighbor before his neighbor threw it in the garbage. A good move, because this radio deserves to not be in the garbage. And without knowing anything about it, he acquired it. I don't think there was a lot of money involved at all. Took it home. I believe the current owner, who no doubt is watching this, did this connection to check it out and see if the thing would work. And it did not work. Now, did not work means all kinds of weird things. So we don't really know what exactly that means, but I think we can assume what he meant was it didn't make a sound. I don't know any more than that. I don't know if these things heated up. I don't know anything. Although I do know this, that the fuse that was in there is a 10 amp fuse. So when he acquired this, the cord was cut. Interestingly enough. Okay, now often when you find these things, you know, at the side of the road or something like that, somebody will have cut the cord off right up here. Whoever cut this off actually just cut the plug off the end and left the cord. So sometimes people are trying to send a message when they do this. They're trying to say, this unit doesn't work, that's why I cut the cord off, that kind of stuff. They put it out. That's what they think is going, that's what I think is going through their heads. Or they're like me, they like to collect the cords. But if they like to collect the cords, they wouldn't have cut this one the way they did. So exactly why the power plug is cut off, I don't know, but the assumption I'm going on is it was a message. The message simply could have been, this doesn't work anymore. It could have been that simple. Okay, now it didn't look like a lot of mileage on this tube. Well, this may have been replaced. This is the output tube. During the life of this radio, this tube may have been replaced. So this may be something a little newer than this guy here. Okay, back to the electrostatic speakers. So what do I do about it? Do I just skip it, or do I bring them in somehow and hook them up because I'm afraid of damaging this output transformer or the output tube? Yeah, that's why I jumped to output tubes. If you don't hook up a speaker here, an 8 ohm speaker, then the impedance seen by the output transformer is not what is expected. And that is reflected back through the transformer right into the tube here. So the tube feels the speakers. I mean, that kind of makes sense, right? You want the power in the tube to come out of the speakers. The tube has to feel what's going on with the speakers. If you don't have the speakers connected, the tube doesn't feel the right load anymore. And the result of that, I'm not sure, but it's not good. Maybe high plate voltage, I don't know. Something maybe bad happens to the tube. I don't know. But I know I have heard it's bad news to operate these sets. Now maybe a little one like this, not so bad. Maybe a big one is a badder situation. So hooking up these speakers here is going to be pretty simple. Clip leads. I think I'm going to ignore the electrostatic speakers on the basis that they are nothing more than a capacitor. They don't really draw much power at all. Most of the work of this output transformer is in driving the speakers I hook up here. So I've convinced myself not a risk. What would the risk be anyway? The risk would be the open circuit voltage of the high voltage part of these transformers goes way high from where it's supposed to be, and then shorts out internally. I don't think it's a big risk. I don't think it's a big risk. Okay, so let's hook up speaker here. So first on the ground. Now chances are I'm going to hook this up, and when I turn it on I'll get the same result that the owner got. Nothing. Okay, so the corner one here is the return. Using clip leads is, there's always a chance the clip lead is presenting trouble too. So go on one channel there, and it'll go straight down on here. Okay, and the other one, pick red or orange. Pick one. It's good. And then the last one here. That's good. And the last one will be the red one right in here. Nobody's shorting out. Now let me clamp this here a little bit. Well, I do this stupid thing right now. I'll just stick it under here like that. Okay. Make sure my speaker wires aren't tangled up here. Spin this around. Yes, we can. There we are. Next thing is power into here. Where's my power cheater? So I'm just going to run to my garage where I've left my power cheater cord. Pretty sure. Or you know what? I probably have one of these. Let's take a look and see. Do I have one of those handy? Okay, I gotta stop and go look for some cords. Okay, here's my box of special cords. These are all ones that have the funny special ends on them. And let's see, the kind I'm looking for is almost always brown. Here's one. Let's see if that'll do the trick here. Yeah, it's right on. Okay, so we'll use this instead of using the cheater cord I usually use. Very good. Yeah, I'm one of those guys who cuts the cords off of everything I throw away. And for good reason. So, now, if you're new to watching my videos, then you may not know I have a special, very simple system in my shop that allows me to power things up and yet restrict the amount of power that's going to them in anticipation of there being something wrong. So I use a system called a dim bulb system. All it amounts to is putting light bulbs in series with the item that you're working on. So any electricity that gets from the outlet to the unit has to travel through a light bulb on the way there. And the light bulb consumes some of the power. You look at it that way. So what's left for the radio then is less. And if there is the big deal, if there's a serious problem in the radio, like a short circuit, maybe a short circuit right in the power cord, those lights will save you, because they will simply come on full blast and nothing bad will happen. And the full blast light is going to send a big message to you. I like the dim bulb system. You can get variable transformers and other approaches to controlling the amount of power going into one of these, but I actually like the light bulb system. And there's a little bit of flexibility with it. You see, I've got two lights here. They're in parallel, of course. I can remove one. I can put different size lights in to control the amount of power that's getting to the work. So initially, I want to restrict the power as much as possible. So I'm actually going to loosen off this bigger bulb. I think that's a 40 watt bulb. I'm not sure. It could be 25. That's quite a restriction. So chances are not enough power will make it to this guy to even operate it. Now the power comes through on my bench here. This guy here, this very cool little machine. It's just plugged into an outlet. And you run around the house with this thing, plug it into outlets. This measures the power being consumed by your appliances and stuff. This is a great thing to have around the house, not very expensive. So I just have it plugged permanently into an extension cord. But if you notice, the third prong is sticking out here. It's not actually going into the outlet, and this is just a two-prong outlet. This is an old extension cord, in fact. This leads back to a transformer. It's not straight into an outlet. It leads back through a transformer. That doesn't change the power at all. All it does is isolate this from Niagara Falls. So that's what's going on there. For those of you who know what I'm doing, you know what I'm doing. Look, I have a little fuse in there just to back everything up a little bit. And of course, ultimately, my house circuit breaker is available to cut the power if something really terrible happens. But I don't want that to happen. I don't want to rely on that great big circuit breaker. Okay, so that's the story of everything. I got speakers connected. I got power ready to go. I got coffee in my coffee cup. No, where's my coffee cup? My God, we have to try this without a dose of coffee. Oh no. Okay, so a little more to explain here about what I'm doing. There, I plugged it in. So the power to this bench outlet, if you like, project outlet, is controlled from this crazy little panel up here with two switches. I have a master switch, and then I have a selector switch. Down selects the lights. Up means straight into the outlet. So yeah, so we get not quite straight in the outlet, straight to the isolation transformer with no light bulbs involved. This thing is also going to tell me the power. So I have too many meters telling me how much power there is in the system here. So are we ready? So now we got to get just a little bit sure about the controls here. For instance, where's the off button? It's not this one, it's this one. Now often when these radios are sitting on a bench like this, these buttons don't go down far enough to operate. Doesn't seem to be the case here. So the set, you think it's off the way this is working. This is pushed, or is it? Okay, that should be kicking this off, I'm pretty sure. A common problem with these radios, a very common problem, is the on-off switch breaks. So often the on-off switch really amounts to a toggle switch, just a regular toggle switch. Sometimes spring-loaded in the off position or something like that. I don't know. Let's take a look. I don't think this is not going to operate like this. So I could have discovered this a little earlier in the deal, but here it is now. So I'm going to flip the radio up on its end. And we're going to take a look underneath. Wait a minute. Before I do that, just double safety here. Okay, no chance of it getting energized like that. No chance at all. Okay, up you go. Watch out for the strings. Okay, stable. Stable on my table. Where is the on-off switch? So, okay, so this is the lever. It looks like there's absolutely nothing in there. It's possible all this is supposed to do is kick off these other buttons. And unless one of these buttons is pushed, the set's not on. That's not normally the case. But maybe that's the case with this one. So this guy just... Oh, okay. So I could see on each of these switches there's a little dark tab here. See it? See it? See it? See it? Don't see it. And this simply looks like it's fallen out of what it should be pulling. This is probably what's wrong with this set right here. This is probably it. It looks like I can simply, let's take a closer look. Let's take a closer look at this deal here before I make, I find repeatedly these things look different when you get up close to them. And you can see stuff that you need to see before you mess it up. Okay, let me get the focus on that if I can. Bear with me just a moment here. I'm going to have to fiddle for a moment. Just calling up the focus control dialog box for that camera. There we go. So if you look at this one here, you see the brown piece, right? Push the lever. This is, so you see how it's moving the brown piece up and down. On this one, the brown piece is just sitting there. So all I got to do is get that brown piece to hook back up. Now, how did it come off? Who knows? So I can see there's a kind of a, this looks gnarly here. This piece looks like it's bent out of whack. Would somebody do this on purpose? Would somebody disengage this switch on purpose? I don't think anybody's done anything on purpose on this guy. But this thing, if this is the situation, it would be stuck in the on position, wouldn't it? Oh, maybe not. Because you push this to push that up. Okay, let's see if I can just simply swing it over and get it on. Can it be that easy? Okay, let me just reset this because I need the camera view here quite badly. Get the light and the camera and everything. There's a good chance something is broken in there. And also, maybe I see this switch above here is depressed. I wonder if I should release it. How would I release it? And release it with this switch. Okay, sorry about the focus. Don't worry about the focus here. Not to worry. Kind of see the 3 holes there. It looks like you couldn't possibly get this out of the hole the way it is. Set. It should be set all the way back to the edge there. All the way back. There it goes. Easy as that. Now what's going to keep it there? So you might think, hey, a little epoxy would be a good job. That's not the best idea because there's actually a rotational element between these parts, right? Their relative angles are changing as you operate them. Well, that's what'll happen to that. It'll come apart instantly. So, you know, maybe epoxy is the way. Ooh, don't like the snappy sounds. So the way it was originally held is that tab is bent in the back there. Let's look at the other ones. I guess the idea is the builder puts this together, reaches in with a pair of pliers, grabs that tab and twists it once. Yeah, this is a one-time twist. Twist the tab in the middle there and it locks it in. These kinds of things, you twist them twice, they come right off. You can almost tell the angle it was left at was the limiting angle of his pliers in there. I can almost imagine that. But that one's barely done there, right? It's just barely. I'm wrong about the limits. I'm wrong about how the tool would go in here. I mean, we don't know exactly how this was assembled. This could have been assembled as a separate assembly and then brought to the main assembly bench or whatever where they were building the radio. And this whole unit here was presented at once, built by somebody else. Something else a little different here. I just noticed this thing. That's the hey, what's well, that's a spring pushing the button upwards. Button always returns to the up position. It's not locked into this piece. These other ones. Oh yeah, well that is one long piece there. Right into the I don't know what to call that. The brown piece. There's this. Oh yeah, it's one piece. I've disengaged it again. The other ones don't need springs. So when you push this down to click it off, when it gets to here, it's kicked the. Usually there's a slider bar running along these things in behind that kicks off the one that's been depressed, whatever's been depressed. Each time you push the next knob, you move this slider bar, it kicks everybody out who's already depressed. We should be able to see that slider bar action. In fact, really, like this button here that's depressed should pop up when I do that. When I do, oh, what's holding that? Wow. Ooh. Put it back together here. This is in the off position, isn't it? No. Think, man. This is always sitting like this in this radio. Always sitting like this. And you push whatever button you want. In this case, just the one above it is pushed. And when you're all done, let me hold this piece on. You want it off, you push this. It did it. Fantastic. Okay, and it releases. See, the button does separate. It is a separate piece. It separates because they want the button to go back to where it was, but they don't want this to come with it. They want this to stay up there. Now this will probably come down when I'll depress one of the other buttons. This will turn the set on, and look at it, it just flew apart. And so there's no turning it off. Unless you get a stick and do this to it. That's it, I just give the owner a stick. Here's a stick. Watch my video. You'll see how to do it. So you'd think it's just a simple matter of fiddling around with these tabs back here until it locks in. But you see, it's eaten a hole through there. That's why it's coming off. It's chewed a hole. It's chewed its own hole. And somehow I doubt turning that even farther is going to help. Okay, so we know the story on the on-off switch. This is different from every other problem I've had, but a lot of these European radios, the on-off switches give trouble. So this is switched on right now. With this down like this set should be on. That means the owner attempted to power this up with the broken switch in the off position. But wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. All this means is you can't turn it off. It doesn't mean you can't turn it on. You turn it on with any one of these other ones. Well, he may not have fiddled around enough, or there's other things wrong. Probably both. And probably both. There's probably lots of bad stuff in here. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Jim? You got too much stuff in here to play. Okay, so with that, let's get it straight in my head now. The set is in the on position. Don't turn it off with this button. Turn it off with this button, it's off until I stick a stick in it. Let's lay it down flat. Should we operate like this? No, let's not. Let's put this flat. In case something exciting happens. Why, you want this thing ready to fall over while I jump around my shop, waving my arms? No. Let's put it in a lower energy state. Okay, somehow I got these wires on the other side of the set. Come on, really? It's like some kind, it must be another one of Mr. Murphy's laws. If there's more than 2 wires on your bench, they will get tangled. Okay. It's an exciting moment now. Yeah, got some more controls to figure out. Okay, this is plugged in. No power. So this guy way out here says stereo balance left and right. It actually says stereo dash balance. My guess is the designers and the marketing people for this radio really wanted the word stereo to be on the front of it somewhere. That's where they finally got it. Right there. So I'm going to put that in the middle. This is volume here. I think it's one control, one shaft, even though looks like 2 knobs. Bass is here, treble is here, and the stereo button. Tuning, FM, AM. I'm going to start it. Don't push the off. Don't push the off. I want to start it on not long wave, medium wave. Medium wave is AM radio. I think we're ready. Are we ready? Is everybody ready? Okay, yeah, volume down. And tuning near the bottom. Bottom is at the top here. So we're tuning around 640 right in this area here. Good. We're ready to go. My escape route is ready. We did not bring in a fire extinguisher. You know what we need to have ready? We need to have this guy ready right away. This thermal viewer, which I left. I left it on. It's dead. Battery's dead. We need this thermal viewer for sure. Okay, gotta stop and get another battery for that thing. Doggone it. Okay, I'm rid of the dead battery. Coors Light. That came in a beer case. And now I have a much better battery on here. This thing will run for days on this battery. So let's get this set up. Okay. So on the left side is a scale. You can see it says 35 at the top and it says 20 at the bottom. So 35 is not the high temperature we would expect. I'd expect it to be higher. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to raise it. And what this is doing is it's now saying red on the screen means 55 or higher. 55 is pretty high. Let's take it down to 50. That's good. So, you see my hand is coming out kind of a bluish color there. So 20, 30, 40, 50. So it's around 30. So this is, but can you see the white dot? And you see, I don't know if you can see it, there's a red dot running around on the screen. It's very hard to see, and a white one running around. Those two that are running around are marking the highest and lowest temperatures. The temperature right under the plus sign is noted right there. So I can put my hand like that, and you see my hand is 33, 34 degrees. You can see there's a hot spot, and you can't see it, but I can. The little red plus is running around in the hot spot, and then in smaller print, the temperature of the hot spot and the cold spot are listed. This is a really, really great tool. It's really great. And of course, right now on the radio, everything should be room temperature. I'm just gonna, everything will be room temperature. So, okay, so if we want to look at this, or if I want this to be on camera for you to see, I better get ready for that. Get my other camera set up here because I know the angle of the shot at a time. Bear with me a minute. I need to do the refocus thing now because the camera is no longer so close. I use fixed focus a lot on my cameras here rather than automatic focus because I find the automatic focus just has a mind of its own, right? We don't always agree. So we got that view I can use with the thermal guy. I think we're ready. I think we got everything ready. Now it may not start up because I've got this tiny bulb in here. So here we go. So my dim bulb system is armed. Here we go. We're putting it on. Okay. So what I see right away is no light in those bulbs at all. I can see 122 volts written here on this guy. That means the entire voltage is arriving here. Ain't nothing there. Jim, you know why there's nothing? I haven't got the fuse out. Okay. I like these dry runs anyway. Power off. Now what about the fuse? For crying out loud. This has really got a 10 amp fuse in it? Really? Just double check. 6/10. Well, I'm sure this is supposed to hold in at 6. Above 6 below in the long run, anything above 10 below instantly. We don't want that. We don't want it like that. This won't come out. What's up? What's the story? Like squeezing glass things in your hand. What happened here? This must have been really rammed in or something. Oh, I'm kind of scared gripping this. Well, I can go ahead and use this actually because I have alternate fuses. God, there's a lot of corrosion in there. I saw a wisp of dust come flying on her. Huh. There's a mouse stuck inside it. Listen to him. That's going to have my cats down here shortly. Okay, in the long run we'll have to sort this out. I don't think I want to make today's project the fuse. Wait a minute. It's coming out. Is it? What's coming out? Nothing's coming out. Nothing. 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 Okay. Power's off. Fuse going in. So in a sense, the dim lights are fuses, but instead of blowing, they glow. They don't blow, they glow. No blow, only glow. This time we're ready. This time's a lot more serious this time. So we can see these lights come on. That would be reassuring. Tubes light up, I can see that. Okay, we're arming the situation. We're ready. I think we're ready here. Bingo, the light came on. Power is reaching this. I can see these lights are on very dimly. This one anyway, very, very, very dimly. Okay, so I think we can conclude the reason the owner couldn't get this to work is because the set was essentially switched off and stuck in the off position. So total power arriving right now is somewhere in the area of 35 volts. It's not even enough to power this thing. This thing can't talk yet. So we're going to raise the voltage coming to it. This bulb is not glowing full blast. This light is on, indicating power is getting through the main transformer. So all indications are keep going. So we're going to raise it up higher. Just by screwing in this bulb. Swing, make a big difference. And I don't know if you notice I got a meter up here that's popping up and down. Popping up, not down. Just going up. Okay, so now we have on here, it's still so low, it's not registering on here. It can't be too low anymore. It can't be too low. I can see a tube lit here properly. So maybe this thing got confused and it can't unconfuse itself. So I'm going to interrupt the power briefly and then restore it. Yeah, how do you like that? So it cleared up this guy's mind. Now he's telling us almost 100 volts. So 100 volts, most radios will work already with 100 volts. What I want to find out, lickety split here. There's some pretty weird sounds in my house. Well, that's coming out of the speaker. You guys hear that rumbling? Let me turn up the volume. Ooh. There's a motorboating going on when I have the volume rated at the bottom. Turn it up real high, it's goes away. I'm sure you can hear that. I thought it was my neighbor cutting his lawn. Nope. Let's take a look at some hot stuff now. Hot stuff. Anything getting hot? Swing this around very carefully. This also means I got the speakers working, by the way. One of them anyway. Okay, is anything getting hot? Let me turn off this light over here. Look at a little less. So of course you can see the tube warming up. I'm really looking for things that are red. Okay, so that red item there is the light bulb. Okay, we're coming along this tube. You can see my finger. Okay. There's something back there. So that looks like it's the what I believe is a selenium rectifier back here. On this tube. That one. That's the output tube. Notice how much hotter it is? And that tube out there. Wait a minute. Wait a second. There's something missing there. There's heat. I can see the heater. Interesting. It's still cold. It's taking time to heat up. You would think the output tube would heat up first. Okay, now there's this resistor here that's cooked up. That's what I really wanted to look at. What am I seeing here? Let's get the angle right. Uh-oh, what am I seeing? Okay, so I'm seeing this tube here. Just ignore the tube. And the other tube comes in on the side here. So I can see something in here. I think it's the long resistor. Let me switch cameras now. So what I'm trying to do is just figure out if this resistor is ready to burn if I put full power on this thing. That's what I'm really trying to do. So there it is. I don't see anything. This thing is warming up. Something here is warming up. But not much. 35 degrees. So a worry would be finding something. Now this is warming up, but this is actually a vacuum tube down in behind here, a magic eye. So that's good too, it's warming up. Good. There's nothing going crazy here. I don't see anything going crazy. Unless you think I'm the one I'm going crazy. Put that there. Swing this around again. So we can kind of relax now and nothing is going to burn. Now, you know, if you don't have the equipment to view the heat in that, sniffing is really effective in these situations. Okay, let's see if we can get going. So we're on medium wave. We turn them up. Now my air conditioners come on in my house and add a little bit of noise here. I'm not sure I can hear the fumbling anymore that was coming out of that speaker. Let me go stick my head down there and see. Ooh. I tell you, something has changed. The speakers are making no noise whatsoever. Something has happened here. What could have happened? Oh, could be I've got the wrong camera showing right now. So somewhere the speaker sound appears to have gone away. So there was the thumping, the blah, 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 blah. Oh. Okay, there's something coming out. Something coming out of one speaker. So far we have one speaker. One speaker, and we're not hearing any radio, that's for sure. Okay. What should we try next? Try different bands. Try tuning the radio, Jim. That might work. We're at full volume. Okay, but I've got only 93 volts coming to the set. Let's raise it up higher. Let's go for full power. Is everybody ready? Volume down. Full power, no restriction. This is I'm hooking up Niagara Falls right to this radio. Right on. Let's try right around 640. That's where we are.
To get it refilled halfway through.
Magic Eye is actually glowing a little bit, I think.
With the cord, I'm not really a hose. I don't know exactly how that works. Similar to this point, but maybe someone that frozen a new backpack filled with kerosene or something like that. I guess they couldn't, make it any bigger, because then it would be heavier. Oh, yeah, it's definitely a weight issue. I don't know if... Now I'm getting into it.
Okay.
What's the lightest fuel that we could use in this? I would think propane would be light and clean burning.
680, 640, 610, 590 sports. So there's virtually no volume. This is full. And only one speaker working. I'm pretty sure. One speaker working. Let's investigate that a little bit. Just see if it isn't something to do with my my speaker itself. Here's my speakers. This guy's working. There's absolutely nothing coming from it. Let's see. Connections are good. It's balance control. Stereo button. Volume full. Music button, which is a tone selector. How come we lost it all? That's making a difference. One speaker only still. Okay, let's take this speaker off. No speakers connected. This speaker on. Okay, so we see the speakers working. No speaker output here. It's not a good sign. It's not a very good sign at all. Not to me, it's not. So, an EL, how do you get stereo out of this with, that's an EL84, wasn't it? It's a 6BQ5. Isn't that what that is? 6BQ5. Does it have two plates in it? Doesn't look like it. 6BQ5. Something funny going on here. There's something funny going on with this stereo unit. 6B. I bet you I don't have it in this book either. 6BQ6, yeah, 6BQ5 is not there. 6BQ6. Beam power tube. EL84, I think. Okay, so I just gotta look that up and see what we got there for a tube. Oh, I can do this on screen here. Let's do it on screen. 6BQ5. 6BQ5. Okay, we'll see. Is it the same as an EL84? Mr. Google. Yeah, EL84, 6BQ5. Tube store, tube depot, radio museum. 6BQ5. EL84. It's a single tube. So how's this thing claimed to be stereo? Okay, so my head is kind of in a couple of pieces now. What? Hey, what's happening? The radio's getting louder. What's happening? Quickly. What's happening? For some reason, I don't know, it just got louder. Change the setting now because it's too sensitive. Change the upper one to so say 50 or even higher, 55. Interference from this. Well, I don't know why it got louder, but it did. Could be everything from tube pin contact. Could be tube pin contact. Careful now. Funny things can happen when you do that, by the way. That guy's really hot. Phew. Volume's really come back pretty good. There you are. Here's a new way to fix radios. Turn them on. Turn them on and leave them. Still only one channel though. Okay, let's try a few other things here. So I don't have an FM antenna on it. I don't have a shortwave antenna on it. Let's see if I can figure out how to get a shortwave antenna on here quick. Uh-oh, that might not be the quickest thing I could do here. Then why? What shortwave is there anyway? Not a lot these days. My super long clip lead here. Now this has to clip onto the shortwave antenna. One of these. Where is that? Long wave. ferrite on off, dipole. Hey, where do you hook up a short wave? That is it. That's the long wire antenna. 1, 2, and 3. Is that what's down there? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's where we go. We'll find out soon enough here. Let's try it right now and just see. It shouldn't make a difference. Then again, you never know. Well, there's a lesson. What we've just learned is it's not the radio that's weak, it's the antenna up here that's weak. Because my outdoor antenna I just hooked up, it's not even, the switch isn't thrown for it to be on the outdoor wire even. If that makes any sense. Let's see if I can get that. Gotta get that clipped in there. I need a banana plug. A banana plug here. Okay, interesting that it works very well off a long wire. Let's just use that piece of wire. Oh my gosh, the magic eye has come to life. Look at that. Well, this thing has gone from a piece of junk in the back of somebody's garage for 30 years to a really nice radio, especially if I can get the other channel to work. Excellent, excellent. Okay, shortwave. Shortwave is just one band, from 6 megahertz up to 18. I haven't listened to shortwave today, so I don't know what's up. I shouldn't get anything down here. Like I said, my antenna's not even switched on just yet. That's around 10 megahertz there. We should start getting something now. If there is. So the radio's quality is changing a lot as I tune it up here. Maybe lots of alignment issues in this radio maybe. So I'm going to run and flip the switch and connect the antenna here. And it'll just take a second. Well, 15 seconds. Okay, that took a little longer than I expected. I got confused with my own antenna switches. So now I think I have an antenna switched on here. Something not right here, I think. Now, okay, something not quite right there. The next thing I want to try is the FM side, and I need something for, I'm just going to use this piece of wire because I don't have anything. I don't have an FM antenna handy. So, we'll see what we get. Like that. FM, volume up. Fantastic. There's the hit. I'm starting to sing. That's how excited I am about success with this. God. Yeah. Let's pick up some FM down here. Oh no, where are we? FM band. Ooh, I should have picked it up already. Not the FM. FM on the outside dial. Here we go.
In California, dreaming about who we used to be when we were younger and free.
Very nice. God, can't leave the music on too long or I'll get a copyright hit. Well, good news for the guy who took a risk. The owner took a risk in buying this. The risk is paid off, I think. The real question is, should I be doing anything to this? And that's just with a piece of random wire. You put the proper antenna on it that's back in the cabinet. This will probably work much better yet. Well, I think that's the end of today's session here, because now I got to go away and think about everything I saw and did. Wow, this has really come out a lot better than I expected. Even with all those ugly parts in there. Amazing, amazing. So, thanks a lot for watching today. I'll try and figure out what it is I might be able to do to help this guy out. Obviously, one channel dead, we can pursue that, that's for sure. And try to figure out what's up with that. Fantastic. Okay, now, it's not a sunny day, but I'm still going to have a good day. Thanks a lot for watching. See you on the next video.